Now, if you have ever tried setting up automations or building AI workflows, you already know how overwhelming it can be for you. Now, from coding and APIs to scaling and integrations, it can feel like you need a full developer team just to get things working. Now, that's where tools like LangChain and N8N come in. Now, both are designed to simplify automation and AI workflows, but they take very different approaches to it. Now, in this video, I will be comparing both tools step by step, and we're going to look at what each one does best for each other. See them in action with a quick demo, break down their pricing, and then put everything into a summary table so you can decide which one is right for you. And if you want to use these platforms for yourself and get a demo for yourself, I will leave a link down in the description below so you can get started with them right away. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, first up, we have LangChain. Now, to get an idea of what LangChain is a developer-first framework designed to building AI applications. Now, it's going to be highly customizable and it integrates with things larger than its workload, like large language models, vector databases, retrievers, and agents. Now, the trade-off, you will need to write some code and do some more setup, so it's geared more towards developer and technical teams. Now, let's take a look at N8N. Now, N8N is an open source automation tool that's no code and low code. So instead of building everything with code, you can drag and drop nodes to connect hundreds of services and APIs. It even has AI nodes built in so you can integrate language models into your automation without starting from scratch. It's more beginner friendly, but still powerful enough for advanced workflows. Now, before I do jump into the demos, just a quick reminder that I have left a free trial link for both LangChain and N8N in the description below. So if you want to follow along and test them for yourself, you can check those out at any time. All right, so let's actually see how they work, okay, when we go into practice with them. Now, when it comes to LangChain, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building a simple AI pipeline, all right? So for this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to come over to LangChain as we are over here. And right here on the left-hand side, you're going to find all these favicons, okay? So from one of these, you're going to go to tracing projects. Now, once you go to tracing projects to create a proper pipeline, you're going to click on new project. Now, once you click on new project, you can go ahead and get the idea. So if you want to build an agent, you can do that. If you want to go ahead and choose any different frameworks, you can do all of this as well. But do remember that each loophole that you create will require a specific code. So in most cases, it will be done through Python where you are going to need a pip for this. So just keep an idea of that. Now you can either create a tracing project like that, and once you have created the project, what you can do is you can actually add in new automations into it. So as we can see, we have this project right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on new, and I'm going to click on new automation. Now, once we click on new automation, you can give it a name. So let's say I'm going to call it something like Instagram handler. And we're going to go with add to data set. You can choose any data set that you want. If you don't have one, you can create a new one for yourself. So in the case that you don't already have it, you can create it from scratch or upload a new file. So let's say over here, they're going to ask us our dataset's name. You can add that for yourself, create a description, and once that is done, you're simply going to click on create. Now what that does is it creates a dataset, and now you have something to create the automation rule in. Now, once the automation is done, you have it available over here, and obviously it's going to run every time your traced project is created. Moving on, you can also try out their playground. Okay, once you've set up tracing, which is basically their automation pipeline, go over ahead to playground, and this is where you can actually keep on trying new different things. It opens up a whole layout map like this where you can let it know different things. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and give it the prompt that you are a chatbot. Now the human is going to ask a question, and now the question could be, what is the longest building. Okay, something like that. And once that is done, of course, you're going to choose the prompt selector you want. And obviously, you can give it a prompt name, etc. And once all of that evaluation is done, what you can do is you can run up the automation. In some cases, it will say that your rate limit has been reached. Now, in this case, obviously, you are going to need the upper pricings because LangChain gives you a very specific small set of criteria when it comes to running the codes. So this is where the pricing is going to matter. And obviously, I'm going to get into the pricings later on, but this is generally how you can test out the playground as well according to your automations, all right? So, long story short, you can set up tracing projects that are going to work as your automations, try out the playgrounds where you can test your automations and your chatbots. And finally, there's also an option where you can run evaluations on your current traced projects, all right? So, doing all of this will obviously ensure that your AI model works perfectly through your LangChain. Now, moving on, let's talk about N8N. Now, N8N, of course, gives us a totally different criteria and workspace to work along with. So, as I told you, N8 is open source. So, over here, I'm going to go ahead and create a workflow for myself. So, I'm going to go ahead and click on Create Workflow, and you're going to see the difference because LangChain is more affiliated with AI models and it's more affiliated towards things like AI related webhooks or maybe even coding. N8N, on the other hand, has nothing to do with coding. All you need to do is come over to this space. We're going to click on Add First Step. I'm going to go ahead and choose Trigger Manually. I'm going to bring this right here on the left-hand side. Then we're going to go to this plus icon where we're going to add a new node. So let's say the new node I want added is of Google Sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now let's go ahead and go with a trigger that says create sheet. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. We're going to go with select credential, click on create new credential. Now over here, what you need to do is just sign in with your Google account. And once you sign in with your Google account, what it does is it connects your N8N to the Google account that you want to create spreadsheets with. So in my case, obviously, I'm going to go with this, click on continue. And once we click on continue, as you can see, it's going to say that account is connected successfully. Now, once that is done, you're going to back out of this. And let's say I'm going to go with the resource on sheet within document operation. You can choose different operations from here. Obviously, I'm going to click on create. From list, you can choose the list you want to create it from. So let's say I want to go ahead and create a project in my untitled spreadsheet that I have over here. So as you can see, we have this spreadsheet right here. I'm going to go ahead and open it up right in this. Or let's say you can even change the spreadsheet according to yourself. So I'm going to go with that. Once that is done, we have saved this step. All right. And over here, if we come, you can see that we have this sheet right here, all good to go. Now, if I come over to this section and click on execute workflow, obviously I manually executed it, and now all it's going to do is it's going to come over here. Now, in the case, it does give you errors. In this case, it's saying forbidden problem in node. Now, this could generally arise when your proper caller has not been provided, okay? So in the case it does not give you permission, all you're going to need to do is you're going to come over to the response section. You're going to go ahead and click on share, if it's sheets in that case, and you're going to make sure that you're not going to keep it restricted, and you're going to make sure that it's the editor's access. So once we click on done, obviously N8N is going to know that the proper permissions have been applied. And obviously, of course, moving on, you can create new nodes along with it as you go on. Okay, and these nodes are going to be the core of your general design workflow. So let's say moving on from this, I'm going to connect a new sheet to this. Okay, so Google Sheets account, let's create new credentials. Come here on sign in with Google, and you can add a new account into this. So let's say I'm going to add this Sheets account. And obviously, once you add a new sheet account, what that does is creates a totally new permission-wise setup. And as you can see, now it says we are connected. You can go back. You can choose the sheet that you want to work with. So let's say we have this untitled spreadsheet that I have created. You can obviously go over to it and see what kind of sheet it is. So let's go ahead and load ourselves into it. Now, as you can see, here's our untitled spreadsheet. Now, again, my step is to create a sheet within the document. And once you have done that, simply hit execute workflow. And as you can see, it's going to say that a sheet has been created. Now, if you come over here and you load it up, as you can see, we now have the N8N sheet created right here. So just like this, you can automate your workflows when it comes to N8N and make your life much easier when it comes to, proper automations. So once we have actually talked about all of these things and features that both of these platforms have for us, let's actually go ahead and talk about their pricings, okay? Because these are one of the most important factors when it comes to using these platforms for yourself, okay? So let's say I'm going to come over here to LangChain's prices, and here we have N8N's prices. Now, LangChain itself is an open source and free software, but the costs really depend on what you connect it to. Now, things like OpenAI tokens, vector database hosting, and cloud infrastructure, this makes the pricing less predictable because it varies on how much you use those services. But generally, the plans are there's a free plan, okay? Then there's the plus plan, which is $39 per seat per month. And then there's the enterprise plan, where you can obviously go ahead and talk to the enterprise. Now, LangChain does not provide us a yearly plan to work with. It's only monthly based. Then we move over to N8N. Now, N8N, on the other hand, is also open source with free self-hosting, but if you don't want to manage servers, they offer affordable cloud plans with fixed monthly tiers. Now, the nice part is with yearly billing, you save around 20 to 25%, so the costs are clear and predictable, especially if you're running a small business or team. So, on the monthly plans, you have $24 a month on the starter, $60 a month on the pro plan, and custom on the enterprise. And obviously, if you switch to annual, as you can see, you're saving a lot of money. So overall, LangChain can be free but variable depending on usage, while N8N gives you very straightforward and transparent pricing. Now, obviously, once we've talked about all of this, there's also a summary table where I have a side-by-side breakdown on both of these platforms. Now, the factors I've used are ease of use, feature set, customization, time, and pricing. Now, for LangChain, I will say that ease of use is significantly lower than N8N because N8N's drag and drop interface is simpler than coding that LangChain gives you to work with. Then there's the feature set where both of these are the winners because LangChain excels in AI workflows and AI dream flows. N8N, on the other hand, supports hundreds of apps plus AI models. Customization, I'd say LangChain is slightly better than N8N, even though both of them are amazing in it, because LangChain limitless with code. N8N is highly flexible with their nodes. When it comes to the timing, N8N is significantly better than LangChain because LangChain's setup takes longer, it has a huger, bigger learning curve. N8N is much faster to get affiliated with. And finally, when it comes to pricing, I would say N8N is better because LangChain's cost depends on infrastructure plus usage. N8N has clear, straightforward tiers, plus N8N gives you yearly savings that LangChain does not provide. So, which one should you go for? Now, if you are a developer building an advanced AI apps or you want total control over every step of your pipeline, LangChain is going to be an amazing choice. It's totally flexible, open source, and extremely powerful, but it does take more work to get everything set up. But if you're looking for a tool that's easier, faster, and more predictable to work with, N8N clearly comes out as the winner here. It's beginner friendly, supports hundreds of integrations, includes AI nodes out of the box, and has pricings that are much simpler to understand. So for most creators, small businesses, and even teams, N8N is the better all around option. Alright guys, that's pretty much a wrap for today's video. Now, if there are any deals or discounts going on where you're going to be watching this, I will leave them in the description below, along with the free trial links for both LangChain and N8N so you can try them out yourself. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Drop your questions in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more tool comparisons like this. I will see you in the next video.